Hi everyone, welcome to your class this week where we are going to be doing my client's favourite class. The reason I know this is my client's favourite class is because every time I teach this class they all tell me how much they love it. So I wanted to share it with you. I have done something similar to this class way back when, which was titled Return to Reformer. So it's a similar kind of flow. We're going to use a little bit of extra load by grabbing a set of hand weights. These are 1.5 kg. And yes, your reformer is set up with all of the springs on. If your legs are feeling a little tired today, maybe take off the yellow spring. But we do want a decent amount of load to start the class because we're going to be starting with some footwork. Foot bar is up. Just put your weights down to the side of your carriage so they're easy for you to pick up when you lie down. Of course, raise your headrest as well if you need it. And let's get you moving. So roll yourself down onto the carriage. And just place your spine on the carriage in its neutral position. Be aware of the placement of your body. The heels are going to go onto the bar with the toes pointing upwards towards the ceiling. And then I just want you to move the carriage out ever so slightly to feel the tension in those springs. At the same time, drop the tail down a little bit deeper and find some engagement in your glutes as well as your quads. From here, we're going to breathe in to press the carriage out. I want you to use your out breath to resist to return the carriage back home. Inhale, we go out. Exhale, resist and return. Breathe it in. Breathe out. Now make sure that your foot bar is at the right height or distance for you. We do want to get into a reasonable amount of hip flexion here, but not at the expense of our neutral spine. So we want to make sure the bar is close enough to us that we can get deep into the hips, maintaining a heavy tailbone. So for me, I can feel this foot bar is probably out a little bit too far. I could definitely find more hip flexion if the bar was a little bit further in towards me. Be aware of the placement of your hands and the backs of your arms on the carriage. We want to stand into the arms a little bit so we can really find that openness across the chest. Just 3 more here. Out on the in-breath. Resist and return on the out-breath. One last one. And then we just slide the arches of the feet onto the bar. Soften the feet around the bar. No tension through the front of the ankles. And we go out again on the in-breath. Exhale, return. Breathe in. Releasing the back ribs heavy into the carriage behind you. Keep the feet soft now and really focus on the alignment of the feet, knees, hips, all staying parallel. Breathe in and out. Lovely, last 3 and 2. Last 1. Return all the way back in. Slip the balls of your feet onto the bar and just press the heels together. Your knees slightly turned out from the hips. Lift your heels up slightly and move the carriage away from the end ever so slightly. Now really feel the connections through your body. Heels pressed, legs are turned out. We've switched on some of those side glutes, but the tail is still long. We're fully connected and we're going to zip up that pelvic floor as we reach out through the legs, joining the inner thighs together, and then slowly return. Breathe in, we go out. Breathe out, resist and return. Really pressing the heels together as the carriage comes back home. Focus on that connection into your midline as you wrap the inner thighs together, bringing the insides of the knees together. Backs of the arms and palms still down by your side. 4, 3, 2, 1. We return. Open the heels, open the knees, the legs are back to parallel, heels remain lifted. Press out. Now lower the heels under the bar. Now lift the heels, return back in. We breathe in, press away, breathe out, heels under, breathe in, heels up, breathe out, return home. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep it going, legs in parallel. When we're mobilizing the ankles, we have locked out those knees. When we're mobilizing the knees, the ankles are stable. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Under, up, return. 3 more. Let's really work that movement through the ankle joint, finding that release through the calf and Achilles. One last one here. Lovely strengthening and mobilizing work for the lower limb. And return. Lovely. Okay. Just reach for your weight. Just one of them. And we're going to place that weight just between the legs here, the lower half of the leg. So I've got mine just below where the knee joint is, so it's not uncomfortably pressing against bone. Lift your tootsies up so you can see them over the top of your weight, and just hold onto your shoulder blocks with your hands, elbows wide. So we're nice and open across the chest and wide through the upper back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to roll the hips across to the left, just managing that extra load through the legs, and then roll back to center as you inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Relax the shoulders while you're holding onto the blocks. Try and maintain a lovely stable upper back. Running length through both sides of the waist, so your armpit and your hip bone are trying to pull away from each other. Good. Big exhale as you rotate to try and avoid any flaring up of the ribs. We really want to connect ribs towards hips with this one, and if we inhale to rotate, there's a good chance those ribs will spring upwards. Lovely. Switching on those oblique muscles to control our rotation. Let's go one more either side. Great work. Return everything back. Grab hold of that weight. Just pop it down to your side again. And we're going to sit you up. And I want you to take off one red. And if you did have all of the springs on, you'll need to take off the yellow as well. So we want to leave you with 2 heavies and 1 medium. So 2 reds and 1 blue. And then take yourself back down. We're going to put the balls of the feet back onto the bar. Again, slightly raising the heels. Tail is long, but we're going to move that carriage out just a little bit. You'll feel how much lighter it is now. Really stand into the backs of the arms and the palms. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, curl the tail under, imprint your spine. Now open the hips as you peel the spine up towards the ceiling. Feel the engagement in the back of the legs. Maintain it as you push out, breathing in. And return, and then breathe out, roll those bones back down. We go again, inhale, exhale, tuck under, imprint, hollow the abdominals out as you lift. Breathe in, and breathe out, roll back down. Good. Again, working the strength into the ankles to maintain that lift of the heels, and then the strength into the back of the legs and glutes as we push out and in the hip extension. Good. Really peel the spine up. We go out, press in, roll down. 2 more here. Drawing the head up and out of the shoulders. One last one. Curl under, scooping navel to spine. And roll all the way back through, out into neutral. Good. Now grab your weights. I'm going to add a little bit more load and coordination here. So I want the heels now onto the bar. And your arms raised upwards to the ceiling, holding those weights. And I want the weights to be quite close together. Just push out ever so slightly, and then press your heels down and bridge those hips directly up so you're strong through the backs of the legs. Now we're going to lengthen the left leg forwards and bend the elbows so the weights go over the head. As you push the bar away, lift your left leg up and reach the weights towards the legs. Bend the elbows as that left leg sweeps back down and the carriage returns home. Squeeze up as you bring the weights to the shin. At the same time, you're pushing the carriage out with the right leg. Last 3. And 2. One last one. Good work. Just take that left heel down. Let's go to the other side. Reach through the right side. Elbows are bent and weights are over the top of the shoulder blocks. We go. Squeeze up as you kick the leg up. Last 3 and 2 and 1, and take the legs back down, both of them onto the bar, reach the weights to the ceiling and slowly roll your bones back down. Lovely. Hug your knees into your chest. Good work, everyone. All right, sitting ourselves up again and taking off one more heavy spring, so you're down to a medium and a heavy. Taking one weight to the floor, holding the opposite weight in your hands. Okay, so this weight is going to go back where it was before when we had it held between the lower half of the leg. And then you're just going to rest your feet towards the bar as you reach for your short straps in your hands. Push slightly out from the bar and reach the arms upwards to the ceiling so your hands are just above the line of your shoulders. Maintain the connection through the shoulders as you lift the legs off the bar and feel the increase in abdominal pressure. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just press the arms to your side. Inhale, lift the arms back up. Hold your position, carriage still. Exhale, hinge the legs away, tapping heels to bar. Return the legs. Press the arms down. Breathe in, raise the arms up. Breathe out, hinge the legs away. Heels go to tap bar. Inhale, return the legs. Exhale, press the arms. Inhale, lift the arms back up. Exhale, send the legs away, scooping the tummy. Back ribs, nice and heavy on the carriage behind you. Exhale. And stabilizing through the shoulders, stabilizing through the core. Lovely, last 2. Really scooping navel to spine as those heavy legs are pulled away from you. One last one. Lovely control. Press, return, and then just take the weight from between the knees, feet to the bar. Good, put that weight on the floor. Well done. Okay, keep your hands in those short straps, raise the arms back up. Connect the shoulders into the back, float your legs off the bar. Now we're going to press the arms all the way to our side, then dig the elbows into the carriage as you bend the elbows and bring the back of the hands all the way back towards the shoulders. So we've got deep flexion in the elbows, but we haven't lifted the triceps from the carriage. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, extend your left leg forwards and press both palms all the way down to the carriage. Inhale, return the knee. And bring the back of the hands all the way back to the shoulders again. Exhale, press away. Inhale to return. If you'd prefer to make a fist so you can really connect into those straps, that's fine. But I want you to get maximum movement in the elbow joint to really switch on those triceps. Good, just looking towards the top of your knees will help to keep a lengthening through the back of the neck. The tailbone is heavy. We're squeezing those triceps to find full range in the elbow. Now one more either side. Starting to get heavy. Good work. Take your feet to the bar. Ooh, press your forearms back. So you've got your forearms rotated back and we can just enjoy a nice stretch there for the chest muscles. Okay, we're going to switch a little bit more of the abdominals on now, more superficial abdominals to curl us up. So these upper abs are going to do a job. Take your hands into the longer straps if you've got that option. And move your shoulders a little bit away from your shoulder blocks so they're not blocking your movement. We have the arms up And then we connect the shoulders again as we float the legs up. Draw your legs into turnout, heels pressed, knees slightly apart. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, slide your chin to your chest, curl up the head and shoulders, pressing the arms towards your side. Now inhale, lengthen the legs forwards. As you exhale, pull the knees back in and push more through the arms to deepen your curl up, connecting your ribs. Inhale, lower the head down, float the arms. Exhale, curl up, pressing down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, push through those arms, curl up deeper as the knees come in. Inhale, return. Exhale, curl up, pressing through the arms. Inhale, lengthen the legs. Exhale, pull in, resist, push forwards with the arms. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, curl up. Inhale, lengthen away. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, return down. Last two. One last one. And scooping the tummy, pushing those arms, and return. Feet to the bar, take your little break. All right, guys. So arms back up above your chest and the legs back up with the shoulders connected. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, nod the chin to the chest, curl up, press the arms down and straighten the legs away. Little star jump. We go out and in with the arms and legs and return back down. Curl up, press down. We go out, in and return. Out, in and return. It's not a big movement through the legs. Yeah, you're only taking them out about as wide as the foot bar. The arms just lift away from the sides of the hips and snap straight back in. Two more. Out, in, and return. One last one. And resist, return, and stretch those chest muscles again. Ooh, nice and wide with the elbows. Great work. All right. It wouldn't be a client favorite class without popping feet in straps, would it? So that's where we're going now. Push the bar away from you with your feet and then pop those feet in the long loops. No need to change springs. Set yourself up beautifully on your carriage again. The legs are weightless. Make sure they're relaxed. Press the backs of the arms down and release the back ribs. Breathe in. We bring the legs up, but we keep the tail heavy, hinging deeply into the hips and lengthening those hamstrings. Breathe out, press away, pull navel to spine, opening the hips. Inhale, we go up. Exhale, press away. Breathe in. Breathe out, press forwards with those legs. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Now find that deep connection with your center as the heels go down. Really scoop the belly in. Feel the back ribs connecting into the carriage behind you. Lovely and open across the chest. Two more here. One last one. Gorgeous. And now we're coming into our rollover. Legs come towards us. Tuck the tail. Lift your bottom up, 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 up. Send the legs over your head. Now take a breath in and take your legs into a bent position, lifting your tail a little higher, your kneecaps to your eyebrows. From here, we're going to breathe out, keeping the thighs close to the chest and pressing out through the back of the knees. Then press the feet into straps and roll the rest of the bones down as the carriage moves. Breathe in, we hinge into the hips. Breathe out, tuck, lift, up and over. Hear the carriage click home. Breathe in, bend your knees and lift your bottom higher. Kneecaps to eyebrows. Breathe out, we're going to lengthen through the back of the legs. Carriage stays still at this point. Now press those feet into straps to slowly return the carriage and the spine together. And again. Breathe in, bend your knees, lift your tail higher. Breathe out, fold as you lengthen out through the back of the legs. You're folding through the hips. And press away. Inhale, up and over. It's like almost an unraveling of the body. Yeah, as the spine is folding into the carriage, we're into that deep hip flexion, and we're pressing out through the back of the legs, and then rolling through. 2 more. If you'd rather keep your legs bent for this one, if you feel like you get more from your spine to keep the legs like this, bent and rolling down in this little ball, if that feels better for your back, then that's what you do. This is all about feeling good. 1 more. Hence why it's a client favorite. And lovely. And now we keep the tail heavy. We bring those legs back up, hinging deep into the hips. Then we open the legs wide. Oh, enjoy that inner thigh stretch. Hold it there for a moment. Then press the feet into straps. Circle round, reconnect the legs. And again, breathe in, up, open. If you want to pause there for that inner thigh lengthening, you can. And then lovely big circle round. And as you're circling round, get a sense of the hips really opening. Lovely and open across the front of the pelvis. My legs naturally roll into turnout as I circle, so I bring the heels together. One more in this direction, and then we'll reverse those luscious circles. And let's go back in the other direction. Press away. Inhale, circle all the way around, rejoin above the hips, and again. Scooping the tummy in. Using the breath, exhale, pressing into the resistance. Inhale, allowing the straps to take the legs up and join together. 2 more. Lovely. And then just press the legs away from you and then bend your knees and take your feet out of straps. Find the bar with your feet. Bring it all the way back. Great work. All right, let's have you in seated. Take off 1 more spring, so you're down to just 1 medium. Take off the heavy. All right, so we're going to come into a kneeling position on the carriage. Still facing your foot bar, with your feet against the shoulder blocks. Now, if you struggle to tuck your toes under, if your toes aren't very flexible or that's uncomfortable, this can be done with the feet flat to the carriage. Not using weights. Don't know why I went to pick those up. We are using the straps again. So grab your short straps in your hand while your bottom is down. Find your position. And then, elbows bent, you're going to slowly rise up into your high kneel. Now the straps, of course, are wanting to pull you back. So I want you to lift up through the crown of the head. Open your hips by squeezing your bottom a little bit and draw your abdominals in to connect through the front line. Palms are open to the ceiling with the shoulders falling from the ears. Inhale here. Exhale, float the arms up, keeping the shoulders dropped. Inhale to return. Exhale, connect into those straps. And inhale to return. Good, as the arms lift, we want to continuously lift the head off the shoulders, using the out breath to connect into our center with the abdominals, scooping back as we exhale. Lovely. And this is offerings, so think of offering upwards, palms open. Last 3. And 2. 1 last one. And return. Good, take a little break, bottom comes down. So we're now going to work into our chest press. So again, very much about these upper pecs. Slowly rise back up into high kneel. This time we're going to take the hands so the palms are open towards the foot bar, the shoulders are dropped and the elbows bent. We're going to bring the arms or the hands back as far as we can to feel that stretch in the chest. Just watch that you don't flare the ribs. Then we're going to press forwards and join thumbs and index fingers in front of the face. Breathe in, pull back. Breathe out, push. Inhale, elbows are slightly dropped. We're not up here in line with the shoulders, with the elbows. Really squeeze forwards. Resist as you pull those elbows back. Last two. One last one. And return. Amazing, well done. Just allow the arms to be pulled back behind you. The chest open and stretching again. Nod your chin to your chest. Turn your head a few times if there's any tension in your neck. And then we're going to stay down with the bottom on the heels. But I just want you to hinge slightly forwards from the hips. The spine is still in neutral. We're going to take the hands and skim the back of the head with the hands. Elbow drawn outwards, shoulders connected. And then we just press forwards and back. And squeeze into the back of the arms and connect into your upper back. Just skimming the back of the head here. Pressing the palms. You don't have to have the fingers touching as your arms straighten. If you're a little bit tight in the shoulders, the hands can separate slightly. I want you to press against the straps with the palms. Chin to chest. Three more. One last one. Circle the arms all the way back round. Great work. Put your straps back on your hooks. And then turn yourself around on the carriage. Ideally, don't hold the foot bar, because if you push the bar, the carriage is going to move. Take yourself all the way around. Grab hold of those straps again, short ones into your hands. And your thighs are up against the shoulder blocks. Now, classically, chest expansion is done with the thighs away from the shoulder blocks and the toes over the end of the carriage. But for most of my clients, this feels a more secure position. So work with what is right for you today. Sorry, make sure my mic is still in the right place. Okay, so in this instance, the ropes want to pull you forwards. So let's lean ourselves slightly away from those blocks. So you almost want to feel as though the thighs move backwards of the blocks slightly. Tail is slightly tucked under with the breastbone lifted, and then bring the hands in line with the sides of the legs. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw the arms back. Inhale, bring them back to the sides of the legs. Exhale, we pull back. You want to add a little neck roll. We can turn the head on the return of the arms. Good, keep squeezing into your glutes, abs firing. Last three, really expanding the chest, squeeze between the shoulder blades, and one. Good work. Slip your hands into the longer loops. We go again, leaning slightly backwards, squeezing the bottom, pulling the abdominals in, and working the arms behind us. Now small circles with the arms, carriage moving forwards and back. Good, reverse those circles. And return forwards with the arms and home with the carriage. Good work. Okay, pop the straps back on your loops. And we're going to do a little bit of standing work. So if you hop off the carriage, we're going to lower the foot bar down. Grab your weights again. Okay, and we need to step carefully onto the carriage with one foot to the platform. I've got my left on the platform and the right up onto the carriage, and we're going to be turned out. Now, if you've got masses of range in your hips when you go into side splits, start with a foot a little bit more into the center of the carriage. Okay, elbows bent, bring the weights together in front of your midline. Standing with the legs turned out, the glutes switched on and the shoulders relaxed. We're going to rotate the forearms out as the carriage starts to move out, and then we float the elbows away from the hips, and then we pull back in, close the arms, close the carriage. Rotate and reach. Return and close. As we're moving the carriage out, I want you to be aware of the bottom wanting to poke out behind you, yeah? Think of almost tucking the tail underneath you, especially on that return as well, because that can really help us access the glutes on the return. Well done. Now, of course, the lighter spring we go with this particular move, the harder it becomes. When we're on a blue, it's nice and supportive, so we can really find our range, how far we can go when that side split. 2 more. One last one. Lovely. Once the carriage is home, bring your legs to parallel. We're going to come into a little squat position here. Elbows are bent. I want you to push the carriage out with your right leg, diagonal cross with the left arm. So we stay low, just get your rhythm. As the arm crosses, rotate the ribs, then bring it to center. Now we're going to work the opposite arm as well. So as we go into the diagonal cross, I want you to squeeze back with the opposite arm. Elbows bend to center. It's not a throwing of the back arm. Yeah? We press forwards with the right arm and squeeze back with the left. Three more here. 3, 2, 1. And stand. Good work. We're transferring to the other side now, which is more challenging. So again, coming into the squat. Just start by keeping the carriage leg bent and just gliding out by straightening the platform leg. Yeah, get used to the movement. When you're there, you can add the diagonal cross with the arm. Good work. Now, if you want to, you can add the press back with the opposite arm. Both arms bend when you come to center, and then reach away as you move the carriage. Lovely. Last 3. And 2. And 1. And return all the way back in. Okay, we're just going to turn ourselves around, keeping the left foot on the platform, or the same foot on the platform, and the opposite leg. We're going to lift the heel and just have the toes curling over the end of the carriage. Take a little bend into both knees, forwards hinge from the hips. Pull your elbows back. We're going to straighten the arms behind us as we straighten the carriage leg. And return. Squeeze up into those triceps. Good, so it's all about the squeeze back rather than the forwards bend of the elbows. Keep those elbows pushed back behind you. 3 more. And 2. 1 more. Carriage in. Well done. It's hot up here. Whew. Okay. Turn your weights towards the foot bar, or for me it's towards the garden. And step your foot back a little bit further on the carriage so it's no longer over the end. Straighten out of both legs, open through the hips. We're going to bend into the front knee. The carriage will move back, and we're going to bicep curl those weights to the shoulders. Slowly return back, opening the arms. Bend and return. And return. Good work. It's a bit wobbly. Go nice and slow. Eyes looking at something in front of you that is not moving. Last two here. One last one. Great work. All right, step both feet onto your platform and now take the other leg behind you onto the carriage. We'll do this first flow in reverse. So we step that foot back so we can be really open across the hips. And we're going to go again, bending that front knee, pushing the carriage back, bicep curl, return. Good, finding that lovely hip extension on the carriage leg, loading through that front leg. Last three, and two. One last one for those biceps. Bring it home. Good work. Okay, creep the toes over the end of the carriage now. Bend into both knees and forwards hinge from the hips. We then pull the elbows back, and as we push the carriage out, we squeeze up into those triceps. Good. Drop your chin a little towards your chest and lift your head off your shoulders. Working really hard into that standing leg. And 4, 3, 2, 1. And return. Great work. Turn it all the way around. We're starting with side splits here. So legs turned out. Remember to move the carriage leg a little bit further in if you want more range in your hips. Elbows into the waist. Weights in front of your belly button here. So we rotate the forearms out as the carriage moves out. Then we float the elbows from the waist. Pull those elbows back in and close the arms in front of you. And pull in and close. Finding the activity in the inner thighs and the glutes on the return. Lovely bit of rotation there for the shoulders. As the elbows draw away from the waist, lift the head a little bit higher to the ceiling. Good. Watching that we're not gripping too hard into the weights can draw unnecessary tension through the hands and wrists. Last two. And your last one. And pull it home. Good work. Legs parallel. Move the carriage out a little and just draw back into a little squat position here. Elbows bent. We're going to push the carriage away, diagonal cross. With that same arm as the pushing leg, but diagonally across away from the leg. Good. When you've got your rhythm, add that little squeeze back with the opposite arm as well. Be purposeful with the arms rather than just throwing them around. 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. And bring it home. Whew. Good work. Okay, we go into the other side. Let's just start with the arms and spine steady. Draw into your squat and just push the platform away, straightening that leg and keeping the carriage leg bent to glide in and out. When you've got your rhythm and your balance, you can start to add the diagonal cross with the arm, each time bringing yourself to center as the carriage returns.
So it was at this point that my microphone decided to run out of battery. So I'm going to carry on talking you through this via a voiceover, which means that when you see my mouth moving, it might not be in line with what you hear. So once you've started getting into the rhythm of this particular move, you can add the little back press with the opposite arm. So we reach on a diagonal cross with one arm, and then we squeeze that weight upwards to the ceiling on the other. Bring yourself all the way back and just carefully hop off the reformer. So I'm going to finish you up in an absolutely gorgeous stretch that I've found. I get really tight down in my QL. Sorry, I'm changing the spring now. So take your spring down to 1 yellow. So I get very tight in my QL, which is that nasty muscle there that attaches, so you can see I'm pointing to it, attaches from the rim of the pelvis into the lower back. So if you have any tension in that muscle, this is going to be a gorgeous stretch for you. So you want to kneel yourself onto the carriage with your feet dangling off the back edge of the carriage. And then you're going to climb yourself all the way along the frame so that you can reach for your posts. And as you hold onto your post, get a sense of the arms being pulled forwards as your tail draws backwards towards your heels. And you're just finding that gorgeous oppositional reach through the body. Try and tuck your tail as best you can and release the head down. And just breathe in the stretch. Hopefully you'll feel that stretch in that area that I was telling you about if it's tight around there. Otherwise, it's just a delicious stretch anyway. Lovely, just breathing through it. And then we're going to take the hand that's on the right post and cross it over the top towards the left post. So holding onto the left post, we're then going to take the right arm down the side of the frame onto the floor. And you can slightly press the floor away from you with that hand and allow the opposite side of the body to really lengthen through. I've turned my body over the top of my left leg here. Again, breathe. And then we'll cross over to the other side. Left hand goes onto the right post, right hand down the side of the frame. The body is turned over the top of the right leg and breathe and release. All the way down the left side of the body. Really work that tail under and down towards your heels. Lovely, and then carefully holding back onto both posts and then to the side of the frame to draw you all the way back home. And then we're going to finish up just with the glute stretch of your choice. So you can go into the seated position, which I'm showing here, and just draw in towards the stretching hip. Or if you want to come down onto your back for your glute stretch, lying supine on the carriage, one ankle goes over the top of the opposite knee. Take the hand on the same side to the shoulder block over the top of your shoulder and grab hold of the back of the leg, pull it in towards you. And then we can do a little twist, taking the stretching leg across the midline of the body without being pulled off the carriage. And that's just going to intensify that stretch in your glutes a little bit more. Keep encouraging that leg in, turn out. And then we can work it over to the other side. Again, holding onto the shoulder block for a bit of stability so you can add that little bit of rotation across the back of the hips to intensify the stretch in the glutes. And once you've stretched out all that tension in your glutes, sit your knees above your hips, press your knees apart, lengthen through the legs, stretching through your inner thighs, just taking a bend. And then as you press out, exhale that tension away. Inhale, bend the knees. Again, exhale, reaching through the legs, encouraging a little bit more range by pressing to the insides of the legs. And then roll yourself up to seated and you're all done. So I think what I'm saying here is well done. Hope you enjoyed the class. Please let me know if it also turned into one of your favourite classes. Also, I mention at this point that I am going away on Tuesday for 2 weeks. I will hopefully have a reformer class in the bag for you to release for the first week, but there might not be a new class for you for the second week. But there is now an extraordinary amount of classes on the library, so it should keep you busy. I've also asked my colleague, the lovely Claire Limbrick, to pre-record a mat work class for you. So I'll be releasing a mat class from her, and I will probably try, I'm not making any promises, but I might try and film one while I'm out on holiday in Bali.